This is a new idea, concept I want to start. Every first Tuesday of the month, I'm planning on focusing in on kind of heavy, maybe serious type topic that I think is currently relating to my life, or you can relate to your life, and it's just some things that I'm dealing with, so that when I look back on these vlogs, I can say, okay, this is how I felt about my anxiety, this is how I felt about my depression, this is how I felt about politics, this is how I felt about feminism, like different things like that. So I want to focus in, I want to do these little videos once a month, and I may, if there's more things to do, or if this channel ever builds up and people want me to do more, I'll do those, but that's the plan for now. So today I wanted to talk about anxiety, kind of dealing with it and how I deal with it, and kind of my story with it. Because I was bullied a lot growing up, I've always had, and I never realized it was anxiety, I always had this kind of, not butterflies, but like, it almost feels like you need to go to the bathroom, like, that's the only thing I can describe it. Whenever I'd be out, it would always be, people are watching me, people are looking at me, what's wrong with me, it just, so that had always been, but I never kind of considered it to be anxiety. So in June, so it'll be 2 years coming up, in June of 2014, my best friend passed away. Yeah, her name was Helene. That happened, and for a long time, I don't think, even to now, like, coping's weird, but in the immediate aftermath of her dying, I wasn't able to be in public. And this is when we kind of started to realize that I'd gotten, like, some form of anxiety had basically developed, where I couldn't be in public, I couldn't be around people, I couldn't be touched. I'd be at places that I couldn't catch my breath, and, like, all of a sudden, like, the worst it probably got, I was in Chicago at the 1989 tour, Taylor Swift, and I was completely fine, and we were in line to get in, and all of a sudden, I couldn't breathe, like, I couldn't catch my breath. It wasn't like a massive crowd, it was literally, I was just in line. I had to sit down, and there was just girls trying to pass me water, because it was if the room had, like, and I wasn't even in a room, like, it was if it had just, like, closed in on me, and there was just no way out, and I, like, trapped within yourself. I can't even, yeah. So that's when we kind of realized that this was something that was a real thing that was going on, essentially, and that I should probably get some help for it. So we went to the doctor, and automatically he was like, you need to be on something. So I got a Xanax prescription. I don't currently use it. It is currently full. Like, I filled the prescription, but I only use it when it's really bad. I don't like the way it makes me feel. Sorry, this is off the cuff, so this isn't a well-structured video. Hopefully I'll be able to edit it into something decent. I'm gonna link the vlog that I said I was gonna talk about this in, where you get a glimpse of me, not severely anxious, but just kind of freaking out a little bit. That was my history, and this is just, I'm gonna give some tips to how I personally cope with anxiety, and how I think it can maybe help. First tip, what I would say is, know your triggers. And this is a pretty general thing. I hate the word trigger, but it is a real thing. Like, when you go and speak to people, they say, and, like, something's happened, they're like, well, what triggered you? Know your triggers. That's literally my first tip, because if you can avoid those environments, avoid them, because it's not fun, and the worst part about it is if you're alone, that's it just makes it all the worse. Like, that was probably one of the worst experiences of my life, having to be in the middle of Chicago by myself, being like, how do I cope with this? How do I cope with this? How do I cope with this? So if your triggers for you are big crowds, just, not saying don't live your life, but maybe just see if there's other options for you to go to. Like, see what works better for you. So if your problem is big crowds, what type of big crowds? Is it like a stadium big crowd where it's lots of people but you're not feeling clapped in? Or is it like a gig where you have 3,000 people shoved into a room? Like, know what specific things you can do from what you can't. What I would say second would probably be talk to someone. So 2 would be talk to someone. What's gonna help the most is if you can formally express your feelings without feeling judged and criticized. Because honestly, I feel stupid a lot of the time. I feel so fucking stupid that this is something that I have to deal with. And it's like, sorry guys, I can't speak to that person on the phone because God knows what reason. It's just, and if you don't, like, speaking to someone can help. Because the burden of having this on you is so much more, I can't explain, like, how much weight is taken off of you when you can kind of share it with someone else. If I highly recommend a counselor, a therapist. If you don't have any of those and you're not comfortable, write a blog. Like, I have, and don't feel compelled to do like, oh my god, I have to blog every single day. No, I've had a side blog for the past 4 years. 4 years, and I maybe write once a month, if that, and it's just when I need to. I highly, highly, highly recommend them. They do help. I would say, to continue on to that, have a trusted friend. Like, find someone. And internet friends are real, guys. Internet friends are real. If you can find someone who, when this is happening to you, you can send them a WhatsApp, you can send them a Facebook, wherever they are, just say, hey, this is happening. Like, you don't need a response, like, because that's something I deal with. I don't want people to feel burdened. Literally, just say to them, be like, hey, please just don't respond. I just need to get this out. I would say that. If you find, I was different, I don't like medication, but if you find personally that you think you need medication, I would seek that help, because sometimes just that burden's too big to bear, and you need to help yourself. Like, that's the hardest thing. Your mental health is the most important thing. That is it. It is the most important thing. You cannot do anything till your mental health is sorted out, guys. You can't. Tip 4 would probably be start figuring out what you can do. Because that's gonna be what makes this issue feel a lot smaller. Because right now, it feels like this big cloud, this like massive like cloud over your head, and it's kind of like, the only thing I can really compare it to is, it's like living in a place with really sporadic weather, and it's like, you wake up in the morning and yeah, they may have set up a weather forecast that it's gonna be sunny, but you wake up and it's thunderstorms and you don't know how to prepare for it. I completely just forgot what I said. What did I say? Yeah. What you can do from what you can't do, because if you can pinpoint to say, yes, my anxiety is gonna confine me to only being able to maybe go to the grocery store in the mornings when not many people are there, or only going to classes that are smaller and listening to the rest of them online. If you can say, yeah, my anxiety is currently allowing me to only do these things, but I can still do all of these other things, you start to realize this does not have a chokehold on me. I am in control of my own life, and these are small things that I can fix, and these are small things that I can get a hold of. 5th tip I would probably say is start figuring out ways to deal. For all we know, like, I haven't done studies on it, like, for all I know, this might be something I'll deal with for the rest of my life, but what I personally try and do, and like I would recommend, is figuring out ways to try and get around your anxiety. For example, at the gig I just went to, my issue was I didn't know the songs, I didn't know bands, I was going by myself, it was a small venue. So what I tried to do was I tried to, ahead of time, look up the songs on Spotify and learn them, which was really tedious, but at least like you'll be able to go and like vibe, do you know what I mean? And then, or things like, that's such a bad example, but try and push yourself in even little increments. Like, for example, you don't have to stay for the whole thing. If you can even get yourself out of bed, like if you want to go see a movie by yourself but you're not good in dark places, literally go to the cinema. And then obviously a lot of people can't afford to just pay to go to the cinema, but maybe even just speak to the manager at your local cinema and say, hi, I'm currently dealing with anxiety and I'm trying to get through the steps to ease my way back into normality, whatever that is. And would it be possible to sit in the movie theater while the lights are on with the credits so I can become comfortable in this space? And like speak to your teachers and say to your teachers, like, hey, I'm really uncomfortable with being called on in class. If I can show you ahead of time that I've done the work, would it be possible for you to not call out on me? And then ask them if you can contribute on your own in class. And do you understand? Like, you can make this work for you. Do not feel confined by something that is not your fault. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, even to now, like, I'm making this video, but I can't help it. I can't lie and say that I don't feel like it's my fault that I'm anxious, and like it's because I'm crazy, or because I'm like I worry too much, or I overthink. Like I know there are imbalances, and it's not my fault. It's chemicals. Please, please, please do not feel bad for what you are dealing with. Your pain and what you're coping with is completely valid, and just because there are people in the world who have it worse does not mean you are not allowed to feel bad. That is something that I seriously need to stress. I hope you found those 5 tips helpful. Future me, I hope soon you'll have a wrap on this and you'll be able to look back on this video and say, wow, Alana, you've done good. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. But yeah, guys, so I'm Alana. I'm vlogging the entire year that I turned 20. So please, if you're interested, I'll link some of my... Which one has more space on this side? I think it's this side. Whichever one. I'll probably link some vlogs somewhere. Or down below. Please go watch some. Let me know what you think. I'll be traveling, hopefully getting a job, figuring out my life. Please come along with me for this journey. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please like. If you found it helpful, share to your friends. And leave a comment. Introduce yourself. Let's talk, guys. I'm really friendly. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I'll be back with another one of these the first Tuesday in June, and oh my god, I'll have finished my degree.
Who's your favorite Beatle? Alright, which one don't you like?
But I like them all.
No one likes Ringo.